Hello, welcome back to the Still Alive vlog. It's episode 56 and today is going to be quite a short vlog actually for various reasons, not least because I was doing the website newsletter and it's got more stuff in it this month, and that has to go out tomorrow on the 1st of February, and I've been working on that and catching up on other YouTubey stuff, admin and everything that goes along with it. There was a lot to catch up on, and I've got loads of blog articles to put on the website as well, which I haven't done, and they're sitting there ready to do over the next few days and over the next week. Anyway, so I've only got a couple of hours left to get this done and out to you. It's now 3:45 when I'm recording this, and it's got to be out by 6. So there's no Bert the Bag today. Sorry, no time to edit. Just my inanely grinning face with whatever comes into my head. So this should be fun. First of all, I wanted to say that the first 55 video diary podcast vlogs, or whatever else I've called them over the past year, were an introduction. That's what you can look at them as if you want. A prelude, an overture, an histoire. I don't know if that's the right word. I'm not quite sure what it means. Anyway, it's that for what I'm going to be doing from now on this channel. This then is the beginning. It feels really good. I'm very excited, and I'm going to begin the beginning by welcoming you to the new age of Still Alive, and by thanking you for all of your messages of support over those 55 episodes. It's been amazing. Thank you so much. They're all really heartfelt burps and messages. I've been saying I'm going to compile them into a book, not the burps, just the messages, to share with anyone going through a similar experience. You might like the burps, I don't know. A book of burps. That'll be good. It's got to be an audio file, really. Anyway, I'll find a way of doing it. It'd be good if it's every page has got a separate one on it, like those musical birthday cards that you can get. No? Maybe not. Anyway, I'll keep you all anonymous and the names of anyone you mentioned in your lovely messages of support in case you want to keep your stories private. So if anyone has any more positive messages to share with the world, then send them via one of the contact methods in the SuperLink, which is in the video description below. That'll be a lovely way to pass on your positivity and mine to the next person who needs it when going through something like what I was going through last year. So there you go. So what else has been going on? Well, it was Chris's wife Lara's birthday party. That's a lot of apostrophe S's. That was last Saturday. So I took the opportunity to drive for the first time since my surgery. The second time was only today. Unfortunately, after changing my bag and placard 2 days prior to that, on the Thursday, I'd made the mistake of not checking the seal around the placard properly, and the two semicircular sticking bits weren't overlapping excuse me, as I normally do it. And when I got to Chris's house, I felt a wet sensation just below the placard. And it wasn't much, it was just on the elastic of my undies, and a bit had soaked into my trouser waistline where the belt normally goes. I couldn't find a leak. I didn't actually find it until I got home later that day, and by which time I'd got loads of toilet paper stuffed in there just in case, to absorb anything else that might have come out. Well, it didn't look like it was leaking anymore, but when I found it, it was such a small hole, and it was at the side. If it had been at the bottom, it would have been much worse, and I'd have felt it a lot sooner. I can't quite understand why it didn't leak while I was in bed, because I lie on my side. I lie on my right side a lot more, but it was on the left. Maybe that's why, but no, I definitely lie on the left as well. The other thing was, I didn't take a change of clothes to Chris's, so I just had to deal with the dampness all day. But, I mean, it wasn't too bad. And it was the first time I'd leaked. This was the bad thing. It's the first time I'd leaked since getting out of hospital, so it was a new experience of that happening in public. And so, I was actually a bit peed off with myself for not checking it all properly. The fix was quite easy. I just stuck some of the same sort of plasticky, rubbery material that the placard is made from over the gap. I've got some of those sort of squares that you can cut bits out. And I was due to change the placard the next day anyway, and that went fine. However, yes, there's more. The next time I changed the whole lot was on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I made a right mess of it. Well, I must have made a right mess of it. I'd been working on the midweek video in the office. I felt the bag getting really full, and then there was that damp sensation again, only this time it was worse and it was dripping down my leg. And I managed to get myself into the house by holding on and squeezing my trousers up to stop it dripping anymore. And so I got up to the bathroom where all the kit was and found it was all over my undies and trousers. So I was sat there on the loo desperately trying to take my boots and socks off so they didn't get in a mess. And then I thought, actually, I just better empty the bag down the loo, and then at least that'll stop the leak. But this time I couldn't find exactly where the leak was. I did empty the bag, but there was no sign of any gaps. Nothing obvious. So with one hand holding a cloth to stop everything leaking out, I managed to get everything else ready, and cutting the hole in the placard was a bit difficult with one hand. But, anyway, I had myself a good wash and a complete change of kit. It's quite the procedure, and definitely not as easy with one hand. But there you go. Anyway, I took my time this time, and I did it the best I'd ever done before. It's at that stage now. I've not changed it since then. And of course, I spent the next 24 hours at least checking for dampness every few minutes just to make sure. Liz was very kind and comforting, of course, saying, it's okay, you've only been doing it a little while. There's bound to be a few slip-ups. It's all right. Don't beat yourself up over it. Anyway, I'm kind of over it now. I'm definitely going to take, excuse me, more wind. I'm definitely going to take a change of clothes every time I go out, and a cloth and a towel, as well as all my kit. Lesson learned. Hey, great news on the hitting the ground running front with YouTooSpain in 2025. Subscribers are up to over 9,500. That's really good. Can't wait to hit 10,000. Does something happen? Is there a sort of an algorithm that goes, oh, he's reached this goal, this is a really big one, you're into 6 figures now? 1, 2, 3, no, 5 figures. Anyway, so the total number of watches that all of the videos have had altogether is nearly 900,000, and there are now over 500 videos up online. That's not including Still Alive. One of the fairly recent videos smashed the previous record of watches by a long way. I mean, 27,000 was the highest before, and that was over a period of at least 2 years, a video that I produced in 2020, well, possibly the end of 22. This last one came out in November 24, I think it was, and it's still being watched by enough people per day for me to be sure it's going to break through 40,000 in a few weeks at most. I mean, it's on 39.5 at the moment, I think. And it's always good to feel that justification for what you've been building up for, in my case, over 4 years. It must be nearly 5 now, I think. And lots of people give up on YouTube, but no, not me. I've dedicated myself to it, and I'm learning all the time. I know I have to get better at it, and I will. And I'm going to make it more and more exciting for you. I'm not just going to be talking to the camera all of the time, although that's very nice too sometimes. It's all right when Bert the Bag keeps interrupting me and telling fibs about himself. So there's one more thing I want to tell you, talking about fibs, but unfortunately I can't say very much about it because Liz and I are taking legal action against more than one individual for spreading malicious gossip about us. All because we had a GoFundMe appeal set up for us. And yeah, anyway, everything that's being said is rubbish or, misinterpretation. And I'm assured that the whole village isn't against us like they said. But it's horrible to hear that. Absolutely devastating. And it's even caused me anxiety. And I'm not the sort of person to get that. Unfortunately, Liz is. So she's been really affected by it. I just wish there weren't such people in the world that like to control and bully and spread misinformation. Oh, what a brave new world we live in. Fortunately, our friends and supporters, of whom there are quite a lot, it turns out, know where the truth sits. And karma is a very good friend too. If you found this vlog useful or entertaining, then do use the QR code to show your appreciation. It's not the same QR code from before, and it's not to raise money for me because I've got cancer. It's to raise money for the channel, because that's what YouTube channels do. So there's nothing wrong with that, you see. Anyway, hover, my friends, hover. You know how to hover your phone over the QR code. It is but the work of a moment, and you'll feel joy and jubilation. So that's all for this week. I'll see you next Friday for the Still Alive vlog number 57. Or should we call it number 2? Number 2 of the new. No, we'll call it 57. Peace and love, and let's do the Still Alive dance. Should we do this now? This is the new dance.